Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of our podcast. We're here with our eighth episode of the podcast. I'm Razzie, and I'm here hanging
So,
out with.
Estella. Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
everybody. Hey.
Episode 8. Episode 8.
Woohoo!
Let's go.
I've been meaning to,
That's
I keep
wild.
forgetting to do this, but I've been meaning to connect my soundboard to our podcast episodes, or like our podcast
Yes.
scene in the recording system. And I keep forgetting to, because I'm like, I instead of like clapping here and having the camera not here, I could literally just do clapping sounds off the sound
Yes.
box.
We definitely need the clapping and probably the air horn just for vibes.
Yes, yeah. Pew, pew, pew,
Pew, pew, pew.
pew.
Um, but yes, no, that would be so much fun. See, the process of podcasting is all a learning experience, I think, for
Exactly.
both of us. So,
Yes.
episode 8, I think, considering it's only episode 8, we're killing it. We're
Yeah.
smashing it.
Oh,
We're slaying it.
absolutely. I mean, like, our Spotify is telling us we're doing great.
Thank you guys. Thank you,
Yeah,
Spotify.
thank you for listening, everybody, and thank you, Spotify. We appreciate you. Um, yeah, no, we have a lot of exciting plans for the future of the podcast. We have a
Yes.
lot of things that are going to be happening very recently within the next couple of episodes for our podcast, which is super
Yes.
exciting. And we kind of have a specific topic about we kind of have a specific thing of what we're going to talk about on today's episode, and that is kind of getting into the future of our podcast, and kind of what
Yeah.
we would like to do, how we're thinking for the next upcoming episodes. We're actually going to start talking about specific topics, or a specific
Yeah.
topic per episode. And so we do have next week episode in mind, all kind of thought
All
about
planned
right
out
now.
and
Yeah.
ready to go.
Ready to go, exactly.
Yeah.
Which that
No, I
episode is
think
going to be very exciting. So you all should be
it's
super duper
gonna
excited
be
about that one.
juicy. Juicy. No, I think it's been really cool to just kind of start the podcast and get started talking and just kind of getting into the flow. But now that we have our most of our rhythm down and we kind of know what we're doing, I think it'll be really fun to kind of hone in on specific topics. And obviously, we started this podcast online off stream to talk about things that we wouldn't necessarily talk about on stream or um, not necessarily have at the center of our content.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about all things, and it's really cool to be able to branch out a bit of our normal stuff.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect place to do it. So, also, as most of you know, especially if you watch both of our streams, we like a good yap. We like to talk. We also both
We
like
do.
to go on random little tangents.
As
And
the kids
so,
say nowadays, we're masters of yappers. What?
mastering,
Masters
mas-
of yapping.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have never felt
as
so
the kids
old
say.
in my life. As the
Oh
kids
my
say,
gosh, I don't know
masters
the
of
lingo.
yappers. All
Masters
I
of
know is
yappers.
skibbity riz with the
I don't
sigma,
get it.
negative 1000
What?
aura. What the
I know
sigma?
Riz. I know Riz, and that's about it.
Skibbity Riz
So,
or Skibbity
what
Toilet.
the hell? What? What? What does that
Okay,
mean?
apparently Skibbity Toilet came from this like YouTube video of this like head in a toilet, and it just keeps saying like Skibbity, and so everyone says
The
Skibbity
fuck?
Toilet. It's kind of
But
creepy.
does
I
it
watched
mean
it and it's kind
something?
of creepy. I don't know. I actually have no idea.
Like, I feel like it's a reference, but I feel like people use it in a sentence, and that's
Skibbity
where it throws
Toilet.
me off.
Because then, like, it
What
started
is the
off as Skibbity
grammar? Parts
Toilet.
of speech?
What is the grammar parts of speech? It
What does
started off as
skibbity
Skibbity
toilet
Toilet,
mean?
and then it turned to Skibbity
Okay.
Riz.
Okay. I mean, live it up, you.
What if
Live it up.
what if Skibbity is just toilet? So it's just toilet. Does that
Not
mean
the
Skibbity
toilet
Riz
toilet.
is toilet Riz? Chat,
Toilet Riz?
listen, chat, viewers, if
Shut.
listeners, it's streamer
Listen.
mode.
It's streamer mode. Oh my gosh. Wait, I know. So Riz, I got.
Yes.
What's the other one that I heard the other day that somebody said to me? Oh, gyat.
Oh,
That means
gyat.
like
Yeah.
somebody's butt, right?
Yeah.
Booty, if you
Yeah.
will.
Like people are like, I got this gyat or a fat gyat.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, okay. Good, good for you. Slay.
Good for you for having a gyat.
Yeah, I guess.
Cool.
I feel like this is the perfect example of exactly what I was gonna say also, which is we're certified yappers, right? We go on our little tangents that takes a sharp left,
Well, I know we were
a
talking about
sharp
something right
left.
before this, and then we just got into this.
You know, our conversations take a sharp left, and then they make their way back on the back on track.
Yes.
Um, so it'll be I think it'll be nice to also have our topic that we of course have a general like overlying theme for the episode. But obviously, it's still us. We're still chatting and
Mm-hmm.
yapping. There are going to be our usual ads of skibbity
Of skibbityness and what the
question mark.
sigmas and gyats.
I don't know what that means. I mean,
I think what the
listen.
sigma is just supposed to be like, like what the hell or what the fuck kind of thing. And so it's just people just
Oh, so it's
kids
censored.
say what the sigma. You know what's crazy? You're so much younger than I am, but you don't know.
But okay, so this is something I
This just
choose
so
not to share
shows
on the
how much
internet.
more chronically online I am than you.
Well, so I choose very like strategically not to share my exact age on the internet. That is something that's always been important to me. And so I won't say my exact age, but we do have an age difference.
Yeah.
But all of my friends are your age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't really have a lot of friends. I think I have like 3 friends that are in my, like 2 to 3 year age difference. Everybody else is older. So I was actually talking to one of our mutual friends. Shout out to Snow White Dahlia
Oh, we love Dahlia
because
sometimes.
we love Dahlia. They said to me, they're like, "Oh, you're on the younger side. Like you're the one who keeps me in the loop." And I'm like, "No, I can't be that person for you because I'm not in the loop."
No, this is how it goes. This
No.
is the chain. I, Razzie, am the one who keeps you in the loop. You keep
Exactly.
Dahlia.
Exactly. That's the only way I'm able to like function in this world. I'm like, Razzie, what does this mean? Wasn't it literally yesterday we were talking about something and oh, we saw somebody's dating profile and somebody said they want to take somebody to the fair. And I was like, is that like
Is
slang for
that,
something or is that the
yeah.
literal fair?
Or are they
Like,
being
I don't
legit?
know.
Like, will they take me to the fair? You
Are we
never
like
know in
riding the
today's day and
teacups
age.
or is this something
Are we
else?
riding the teacups physically, or does that mean something else?
Exactly.
Or
So no,
euphorically?
I don't tea. Tea. When I hear the word euphoric and fair in the same sentence, I automatically think of Euphoria with Sydney Sweeney,
Yeah.
and like that did a lot of I don't know if the word damage is the right word, but a lot of like
Okay, the show Euphoria was
impact
wild. Impactful, very
wild.
impactful.
Yeah,
Great
very.
show. Wonderful
The
show. I
makeup.
love, oh my God.
Oh,
Like The makeup, the acting, the
Donnie
story,
Davy.
all of it was so good. But the
So good.
shit that happens in that show, I'm like, oh my
I all I could
God.
think was this was not my high school experience.
No, same. Not at all. I
This
mean,
is
like,
not
there
what I
was
lived through.
drama in my high school experience. Like, high school was fine for the first 3 years. Final year, drama. But not euphoria level of drama, because that's crazy.
I don't know anybody who actually had that kind of like not only drama, but like those kinds of crazy parties and
Yeah.
that kind of like money. Maybe that's where my issue is. Like that feels like rich kid stuff that I
Oh,
was not a
yeah.
part of.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. No, it's crazy. When somebody says to go live out your euphoria dream, maybe don't do that.
Don't except for the makeup
Yes.
because that's the best part in my opinion. Um, that makeup artist Donnie Davy is so talented. I love her work. She does a lot of Chapel Roan's makeup actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think it
Oh.
was Coachella, the pink Coachella look,
Hmm.
and then the black and white Coachella look Donnie Davy did.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool. I had no
Yeah,
idea. That's really cool.
obsessed.
Obsessed. I mean, the makeup looks are stunning. They are fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah, incredibly
talented.
talented
That's
person.
talent right there. This is us yapping away again though.
Here we go.
We like went down a spiral and a rabbit hole.
So, actually, since we're recording this, um, not on our usual recording day, but we're
No.
recording it on September 9th.
Yes.
As our listeners and our viewers know, next week is officially TwitchCon. And
Woohoo.
so, woohoo! I'm so excited.
It's been like 8
Since
podcast episodes of us talking about this.
it has been, but I'm talking about leading up to TwitchCon. We
Yes.
have some lots of fun stuff planned. Um, Lots of content stuff planned
Hmm.
that we'll be talking a little bit more about, I think, on our streams this week and then also on socials. That does kind of go into a deeper bit of the direction of the podcast.
Yeah.
And we have some tricks up our sleeves for sure. Since we're going to be in the same place,
Hmm.
in the same city, in the same room. I'm so
I'm
excited.
so excited too. Like if I
Um,
could scream right now, I would.
I feel like here we go.
Ah.
Um, but because TwitchCon's coming up, we'll see exactly how the timing of episodes actually happens.
Hmm.
That is also another thing in the direction of the podcast for the next couple episodes. If you're listening to this in real time, in real upload time, um, then we may be having a week that gets
Yeah,
a
I was about
little
to say, yeah,
little slow. But
we agreed on us taking a week break. Um,
yeah,
so next week there won't be an episode for the podcast just because of how busy we are going to be within the next couple of days. But the week after, um, the depending on how everything works out, which should work out, we will have our continued episode back on Wednesday. That will be episode
yes,
9.
yeah,
And that'll be like our first major topic
yeah.
podcast episode that we have, which is going to be really exciting. So yeah, next week
Very
there will be a
exciting.
little bit of a break, just because of how busy things are going to be. We will be
Yes,
recording um episode 9 sometime next week, but it will not be posted next
yes.
week.
Yes, no, it will not be live next week. And I was gonna make a little graphic that kind of shows our upload schedule for the next little bit, just because things are busy.
Hmm.
And we appreciate everybody's excitement for new episodes as well as patience for new episodes.
Yes. And
Because
trust
we're both
us,
gonna be away.
when we say the
Yeah.
wait for this next episode is going to be worth it, it's going to be worth it.
It's gonna be worth it. Gonna be a juicy one, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like it is. But also we appreciate like everybody's support and patience through it because it's gonna be a very uh busy weekend at con, of course, but also there's a lot of stuff going on pre TwitchCon and post TwitchCon for a little bit. That we're both going to be away from most of our tech except for like our phones.
Hmm.
That like we'll be trying to capture as much content through our day-to-day stuff, but we won't be having like our little fancy microphones and such to be
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
um kind of do
The
it.
quality and stuff might be a little bit different, but um it's like the next 2 weeks are gonna be such a whole like give and take situation because we're gonna be putting out so much more content than I feel like we
Yeah.
normally put because of like video ideas that we have, of course, episodes for this podcast. Um, like you will be having a stream next week. So
Yes.
it's like,
Yes.
we're gonna be posting more TikTok videos. Estella will have a stream next week. We are gonna like record episodes for the podcast, so we will have that. And then it's just like, the content that we have for TikTok is also gonna be posted on like Instagram and YouTube and stuff. So,
Yeah.
um,
There'll be a
yeah,
lot of visual content, but not a lot of just like general
just
audio,
audio. Yeah.
like our normal stuff. Yeah. So it's going to be a really great time, and we really appreciate everybody's excitement for all of that
Hmm.
content. Obviously, um, we're going to post, as I said, like a general schedule, um, and we'll just have like a very calm time with the podcast until both of us are back into our normal routines and schedule.
Yeah.
Because things are a bit wild and crazy. But it's all gonna be worth it. It's all gonna be amazing.
Yes.
But we definitely have to pick and choose a bit of where we are able to uh produce content.
Yeah, exactly.
um, like I mean, both of us, even in our day to day, like we've unfortunately had to cancel some streams. I mean, I had to cancel today because of the heat wave.
Okay, can
Um,
I talk about how like so we were in a call last night, right? You, me, and Jen, and I'm
I
like,
felt
"Are you guys streaming
crazy.
tomorrow?" And you weren't 100% sure. I'll give you that because you didn't know,
Yeah,
right? And Jen's like, "Yeah, I'll be streaming." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll see you both in your streams." And then like because you usually go live around like 2 p.m. my time. And so it was like
yeah.
150-ish. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go check Estella's Discord, see if they're gonna go live. And then I saw your announcement. I'm like, okay, all right.
Oh, see? See? That's so cute. No, it was funny because when you asked last night, I was like, I'm not 100% sure, but like, I'm planning to unless something crazy happens.
Hmm.
But I'm like, who knows? Because unfortunately, so Los Angeles is currently in a heat wave. It's been basically since last Thursday. So I guess that was the 5th. Yeah, so the 5th of last week to now the 9th. It's not supposed to break until this Thursday. It's been a whole week of this. On the 5th, it went up to 114 degrees Fahrenheit, 45 degrees Celsius,
That's wild.
which is absolutely crazy. And today it was only like 103, but the humidity levels were out of this world.
Estella, I'm
And
gonna
so my entire
die.
Wi-Fi grid, it's gonna break on Thursday. You're gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
I'm gonna die.
No, we have really great air conditioning in my apartment. You'll be fine.
Okay, good.
Uh, but my Wi-Fi grid, because of the heat, my entire neighborhood essentially was on outage watch until 6 p.m. And we did lose Wi-Fi for a good 3 hours, which was basically right in the middle of my stream time. So, and I had a feeling that once I got the alert of a possibility, I was like, if I know as soon as I start, it's gonna go.
Oh, that's
And I would
crazy.
rather, yeah, I would always rather make the decision to cancel, even though I don't want to.
Right.
Um, but I would rather make the decision to cancel and kind of postpone stream than start streaming. Everybody's having fun, and then I'm cut off
Yeah.
from the internet. Like that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, because we never
So
really want to like cancel our streams, but sometimes when stuff like that happens, we kind of have to, and it sucks, but it's for the better.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's also
Um,
situations that you can't control, so there's that.
right. If I have control, I would rather not. But the heat has been really, really bad.
I
It's been
literally
really bad.
like right now it's okay. It's what's the temperature right now? If my phone would unlock, that would be great. It is currently 13 degrees Celsius. I think that's like, I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. What is 13 Celsius in Fahrenheit? That's 55.4 degrees Fahrenheit, Estella.
That sounds like heaven.
I'm gonna
That sounds like
die.
it is 93 degrees. That it's 93 degrees. For reference, it's 8:45 p.m. Okay? And it's 93 degrees for me here right now. That's what is this in Celsius? Please hold. How do I Here we go. Celsius.
That's crazy.
33. 33
33. 33. 33 is like a midsummer
Celsius.
day for us.
No, it's yeah.
It
This
was
is
like
my hell.
33 degrees last week. Yeah, I don't do great in heat, so I'm gonna be sweating a lot.
It's okay,
It's
me
a good
too.
thing. It's a good thing the apartment's AC.
No, we
I'm gonna
have
step aside and just be like, "Ugh," melting.
well, I'm ready. I'm prepared because I have like a bunch of little like hand fans, like rechargeable hand
Mm,
fans. I have emergency ice packs in case either of us get heat stroke.
hell yeah.
Like I'm ready.
I don't know why, but this just
But
like
no, it's
popped into
supposed to
my
break on
head.
Thursday.
Apparently,
Yeah.
convenience stores in Japan have a whole section for cooling stuff. And so there's like this
Oh.
gel that you could put around your neck, and once you put it on, it cools it to a certain temperature. So it gets like really freaking cold around your neck, and it cools down your whole body. And then it lasts for
Ah.
like 3 hours. So I was watching this guy on TikTok. He put it around his neck, and it was like, I think he said 90 something degrees Fahrenheit in Japan when he was putting it on. Then he walked into a
Hmm.
building that had AC, and he was freezing because of how cold the thing around his neck was. So
Oh
it
my
like cools
gosh.
you down so much. But they have this whole thing. They have like these chewing gums too that like cool you down instantly. The products that they have are
Ah,
insane. There was like cooling t-shirts and stuff like that too that you could put on. I was
that's
like, that's
wild.
what we need
I've
for hot
I've
temperatures
seen the
like this.
cooling towels. They have those at Disneyland. That you just
Ooh,
like run under cold water and then it holds on to it nicely and it keeps it cool and then you can put it around your neck.
ooh, I like that.
Um, which is like kind of nice. But no, I have hand fans, I have ice pack. Um, because for me, when it comes to heat, also with my pot stuff,
Mm,
which I did talk about a little bit online, but um, like I have to be instantly cool. Like if I get too hot, your girl's on the
done.
ground. Like I'm done. Um, so I try to always have like, like electrolyte, like liquid IV type things and such. So we'll be okay. And it's supposed to break, thankfully. I think it's supposed to go down, um, almost like 25 degrees or something. Um, and you'll be fine. You'll
Good.
survive.
Okay.
It'll
I
be
I
okay.
wanted to make a really bad joke, but I was like, I probably shouldn't do it.
Well, now you've got to.
If it
Well,
gets
now
too
you have
hot with
to.
your pots, you turn into pans, and all of a sudden you just scream, I didn't get no sleep because of y'all. Now y'all gonna sleep because of me. I don't know why, that just like came
That's a good
into my
joke. I
head.
liked it. I liked that one.
I
No,
just think
that's a
of
good one.
pots like anytime anyone says pots, I think pots and pans, and then I think that
Pots and
video.
pans.
My
That's
brain's a
fair.
weird place.
I love it. I
I
love
didn't
it
get no
so
sleep because of
much.
y'all. Now y'all ain't gonna sleep
Just
because of
I'm just there
me.
banging it together. For listeners, we were just doing the full on dance.
Yeah,
Like we were
pretending
getting
to
down to
bang
it.
our pots and pans.
Bang our pots and pans. No, I like that one. But yeah, we'll be okay, and it's supposed to get cool. We'll be fine.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
And
but
like we've just been dealing with a lot. Just today I moved my flights, or I moved my flight, my
yeah,
one flight, so I'm arriving much earlier than originally
yes,
planned.
you'll be in my apartment a full 2 days earlier,
Yeah,
right?
a
Yep.
full 4 days earlier than originally planned. So
Yes.
for those of you that didn't know, I was supposed to fly out on the 18th. Unfortunately, one of our airlines here, a big company too, Air Canada, is on strike. And because of that strike, they've been canceling a lot of plans. And at first, it was that on the 17th, the pilots were going to walk off the job. Then now they're saying that it's possibly the 15th. And I had moved
15,
my flight from the 18th to the 16th, thinking it was fine.
16.
Then they're saying that the 15th is when they're going to walk out. So now today, like literally right before we started recording this episode, I moved my flight from the 16th to the 14th, which is crazy. It's just been
Yes.
a huge mess. And
It's definitely
so,
been stressful,
oh,
but
very stressful, yeah. And then like I was telling you earlier, it like messes up the schedule for sure because of the strike. I was supposed to go to my siblings' birthday dinner on Saturday and then a
yeah.
friend's 30th birthday on Sunday. And so now I've already like messaged the friend and I told her I was like, "Hey, so there's a possibility I might not be able to make it." I haven't told my
Yeah.
siblings yet, but my friend's like totally understandable about it,
Uh,
which is great. It's nice to
yeah.
have like friends who are understandable and people who are
And
understanding of the
supportive. I mean,
situation and stuff.
this is a big trip that we've been obviously working towards for a long time. And it's I mean, it is a work trip. Like that's the thing
Hmm.
too, is, like, yes, we're going to be having so much fun and a lot of it won't feel like work, but it is still a work trip.
Yeah.
So, like, it's nice that you have people who are supportive and understand like what the vibe is, and understand that like you guys can find another time to celebrate them. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
My like the group of friends that I have here, they know what I do. They know, like, I feel like telling people that are close to me that I stream is like fine,
Mhm.
but it's the whole telling them that I'm a VTuber is where it's like, okay, that's a little weird. But they full on know. They full on know that I'm like a VTuber and streaming on
Mhm.
Twitch and stuff like that. So, the whole TwitchCon like experience and stuff, I've explained it to them, so they kind of understand. So my friends like um understanding of it, and so tomorrow I'm gonna be like, hey, I moved my flight. Just letting you know, so I
Yeah,
won't be able to celebrate your
just letting
birthday.
you know.
Sorry.
And I mean, I'm sitting here in a very selfish position, being like, I get extra fancy time. But,
It's gonna be
like,
really fun though, because I genuinely am really excited to be there um much earlier than expected, because
yeah,
like, so I would land on the Saturday. We would have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to just kind of like chill and do whatever, which will be
yeah,
fun.
I'm I'm not complaining. Like, on our end of things, I was telling Razzie, like, we have a couple things that planned, um, trying to organize everything.
Hmm.
But once those things are organized, it's like it's all chill, good time. And like I'm just looking forward to that because I feel like we both have had just like a really intense year. Things have been busy. We've been doing a lot of obviously content creation stuff has been very much at the forefront of our year. But we've also had a lot of like big things offline that have taken a lot out of us. But
Yeah.
it's like, no, we deserve to just, you know, frolic. have some fun without too much
It's
stress.
about time that
Um,
life was
so,
finally like, here, take it easy.
yeah,
Things will come to
yeah,
you. Here you go.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's all gonna be worth it, and it's gonna be so much fun. And after the stress of everything of organizing, it'll be nice to see it all come to fruition.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I agree.
like,
Um, yeah, and that's like I feel like that's what this vacation is gonna be. That's gonna be like our moment of relaxation and things are gonna be okay.
yes,
Um, the
yeah,
only other thing I have to worry about is like my flight home. But I feel like that's a
right,
situation for me when I'm there. Because it's like, I think I
yeah.
could just get it sorted out when I'm there and it'll be fine. So, yeah, stress.
Yeah, no, I think you'll be okay. And, hopefully, whatever's going on for Air Canada can get sorted and everybody gets what they need out
Hmm.
of this. Good luck to all involved, but also
I was in,
let's not fuck around.
we mentioned earlier Snow White Dahlia. So I was in their stream and I was in Jen's stream earlier. And, I briefly brought up the flight. And we all agree, like, kudos to the pilot, like to the pilots for, demanding raises and asking for better
Yeah.
wages and better retirement plans and everything. But also at the same time, why now? Why
Yeah,
now?
it's like, couldn't this have waited like till next month?
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't this have been done in a month that I like didn't plan to travel things?
Well, it's kind of a very good description of this entire year, I think, for all of us. It's like when things are like kind of calm, and like things are going smoothly,
Hmm.
there's been like a big something that happens that's like drama.
Yeah,
Oops,
trauma.
surprise.
Life
you
just
know?
throws a huge truck at you, like, have fun.
Exactly.
Here's this giant ass
Exactly.
truck.
And
Deal with it.
I feel like with this, it was like, okay, all of these good, fun things are happening, but it's also like slightly stressful that it's like, let's just add a little sprinkle, a little
Yeah.
bit more. Like, what could go wrong?
Let's add more
Um,
fuel to the
but
fire. Just let's see how big this
literally.
fire gets. Cool. Oh, we
And
got a
then let's
controller
fan
there.
it a
That's fine.
bit.
Yeah, let's fan it a little bit. Give it a little bit more oxygen. Just let it grow. Feed it a little bit.
Exactly. But all in all, you've changed your flight. You're gonna be here a couple days, 4 days early, and it's gonna be a really good time. And I think
Yes. Yeah.
also with thinking about the podcast and thinking about all of our other content creation stuff, like it's gonna be really fun to be able to do some of that in person.
Oh,
Obviously,
absolutely. Yeah.
some we can't do, but a lot of it we can,
A
which
lot
is
of it we
very
can, which is
nice.
going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
No, all good
for
things.
you all to see the stuff that we have planned for the next couple of weeks.
We've been planning,
Mm-hmm.
planning it out, scheming, if you will.
Yeah. Maybe we're masterminds.
Maybe we're masterminds and you guys don't even know.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun. We
Ruined
need
the
the
Taylor
soundboard,
Swift
definitely.
reference.
Oh my
But yeah,
gosh.
going back on to like the future of our podcast, I did want to talk about how
Yes.
we talked about very briefly before. This is for you guys to know, like we are always very open with everybody. We are
Yes.
totally fine with being open with our communities. And so with the next couple of episodes that we have, how they're going to be focusing on specific topics, we're going to be as open as we'd like to be. We do
Yes.
want to share things with you all, and for you all to get us to get to know us better off
Yes.
stream, um and still kind of like have that connection, but also at the same time there probably would be situations or will be situations where we talk about something and it's like, oh yeah, maybe we won't get into that, or one of us
Yeah.
might get into it, the other one might not get into it, and it's just like it's not that we don't want to, it's just a matter of like what we would like to share online and what we don't want to share, and it's important to like respect those boundaries
Yes.
for each other.
Yes. I think that is, I mean, that I think is a very, very important point to talk about actually on today's episode as well. Like, I think that's a core of our friendship in general is just like kind of uh seeing where the other person is and meeting them where they're at. And if there's something that will help to talk about, then we do. If there's something that's not in the moment, then we don't have to.
Yeah.
But I think we pick up pretty well on each other's cues. Um, but I also feel like on the podcast, we do want to get into some deeper stuff. Um, but as maybe some of the listeners who aren't content creators, um, you know, putting your life in front of everyone, everything is up for discussion, opinion, um, interference, and also people then feel like they do know you based off
Mm-hmm.
of what you do share on the internet. Um, and there's some things that I know for me, even though we have talked about what we're planning, we've planned content around some things, that I know that there are going to be things that I'm not necessarily going to put my whole ussy on the internet out of respect for either the people offline
Yeah.
who are not content creators who aren't in that world, and there are some things that I just think should stay private, out of respect, obviously, for any of family, etc. Like I try to keep things as open as possible about myself, but when it involves other people, I always do try to be very respectful of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know you're very much the same in that way. Um, so as we get into deeper topics and as we definitely hone in on specifics, if there's more of a general statement or something that we don't feel comfortable answering, like we're putting it out there now as like these are our boundaries, these are the things that we are comfortable talking about, this is what we're not going to do. And as listeners and viewers, please keep in mind that we are real people on the other side of our heckin' cutie little characters here. You know, like please keep in mind that we're real people with real lives, with real families and friends, um, and real feelings.
We
Real
have
feelings.
feelings, yes. Yeah. We have feelings, yes.
We have
Um,
big feelings.
we have big feelings. Yeah, so pretty much like, with what I'm gonna say, like I love everybody talking about how much they're enjoying the podcast, and I would love for that to
Yeah.
continue, and their favorite parts of the podcasts and stuff. But going forward with the specific topics and stuff that we talk about, um I think, and like Stella, I'd say you'd agree too, that like going forward, it would be nice if things that we talk about on the podcast that are more personal were to stay like in the podcast. If you did want to talk about it like elsewhere, you can always tweet us on our Twitter, or talk about it in like our Discord servers, but don't bring it
Yes.
to like the streams if it's a more serious topic, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's we would like to keep that a little bit separate, because the podcast is for you guys to get to know us through like a still online, but off stream
Off stream.
kind of way.
Exactly.
And it's like
Um,
on stream,
yeah.
we want to keep the two things a little bit separate for sure.
Yes. And I think also because, both of our content is very much uh, you know, kind of upbeat and, um usually we try to keep the positivity in chat. Um, sometimes we are going to get into some deeper topics over here
Hmm.
on the podcast that, you know, could honestly just be a vibe killer. and and like we want you guys to be able to know us and continue to uh be excited about the podcast and learning more about us and joining into that conversation. um but like if I'm zooming around on Animal Crossing, like I don't
Oh
I
my
don't feel
God.
like the rest of chat is gonna want to hear. the nitty gritty of whatever we're talking about over here.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
if they do, they're going to go listen to the podcast. So that's why we're
Right.
not also streaming our podcast, right? We made that choice.
Yeah.
Um to keep it kind of separate.
Yeah. It's like,
Because
I wouldn't want
not everybody wants
somebody,
to listen.
if I'm playing like Animal Crossing, right? I wouldn't want somebody coming in like talking about like how I was sad because of a like X example kind of thing, like, and then
Yeah.
it's just all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
I was playing this happy,
And
joyous game, and now all of a sudden I'm like, okay.
exactly. And also, I mean, perfect example of this is very much like you're a VTuber, so we hear it in your voice when something happens.
Hmm.
I'm on camera and people like to stress me out.
Yeah,
People like to see the panic that comes across my face,
yeah.
even if they don't have context. So, you know, I trust that whoever is listening, who is a part of our community, will also do their best to um, participate in keeping those things separate. I know
Hmm.
my mods, they will be alerted, and I'm sure your mods will be as well, aka us, each other.
Each other, yeah. We pretty much have the same mods, so.
Exactly. But but you know, keeping those things separate will definitely help us also want to share more and be able to um continue the conversation with all
Hmm.
of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Love a little disclaimer.
yeah, just a little teeny tiny disclaimer for the podcast. Thanks everybody. Yeah,
Thank you.
no, like going back to what you said about behind our little cutesy characters on the screen is we are people with real feelings, and we have decided to put ourselves out there on this podcast and talk about our feelings and situations and stuff that we deal with, and hopefully those situations are stuff that like um anybody listening can relate to and also like talk to about, um and like connect with us about that kind of thing, right? Like, um because that is the point of the podcast at the end of the day, is for you guys to get to know us
Right.
more. It's a fun little idea, but it's not for people to take the information from this podcast and like use it in like a derogatory or like a negative way or whatever.
Mhm.
Not that like anybody listening to the podcast would do, uh, but it's just like
Right.
a
It's something
respect
that
and
has to be
boundaries
said.
thing for sure. Yeah. And like I've had not just recently, but many experiences with certain individuals where, um, you know, I've been too open with people and they take that as opportunities to say whatever they fuck they want. And they shouldn't, because that's not how this
No.
works.
No.
And so it's like, if I'm going to be putting my guts and feels out on to the internet in a podcast form, I don't want people taking that information and coming back like onto my streams and kind of like spilling the beans there. It's like,
And
just keep it for the
even separate from
podcast.
spilling the bean, yeah, even separate from that, it's still like even though you'll be getting to know us and we'll be sharing some things, I think it is important to remember that, you know, the people that are watching us, you know, and those listeners who are listening to us, you guys are absolutely a part of our lives, but we also have offline lives
Hmm.
that you guys are factors in, but not always a part of. And I think that's something that I know is hard for a lot of viewers, um, because there is a difference between a viewer and a community member and somebody that like if you're an emergency, who you're gonna call.
Right.
You know, like there is a difference to that. And I'm sure that was actually a topic that I think we'll probably talk about, you know, further into
It,
topic discussion of the parasocial
yeah,
relationship.
it'll
Um,
definitely be a topic that we get into for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Um, but you know, keeping that in mind, it's like whatever we're going through, we of course want to hear from you and would love your, excitement and support, or, you know, topic discussion of your own. Um, but it's also like there's so many factors to why certain things happen
Hmm.
that some of it won't be public information and public knowledge, just as the fact that it's like only my closest friends know XYZ.
Right.
Only my mother knows XYZ. Only, like it's a different relationship.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we don't care about our viewers. It doesn't mean that we don't care about our listeners and the people in our community. We do very deeply. But it also doesn't necessarily give everybody free reign to know all the nitty-gritty
Know everything.
tea
Know
that
every
goes
single
on.
detail about our lives.
Exactly. So it's an important factor to the direction of our podcast, because we both we both love this. We both love creating content.
Yes.
Um, but there's also this other side of it that if we don't address it now, regrets will be had later.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is just another example of setting boundaries, which I find like we're both incredibly like on top of making sure boundaries are set, and we will always talk about it and always mention how like, boundaries should be set to protect yourself, protect your peace, and,
Yes.
sometimes in some cases protect other people too. And so this is just
Yes.
kind of like, we haven't really gotten to like I guess boundaries regarding the podcast, and this would be like a boundary regarding our podcast where it's like,
Right.
we're not just doing this because we want you guys to get to know us, and we're not just doing it because it's something we want to do. Like it's well, I guess we are. Never mind. I don't know. I didn't say that. We are doing
I
this
mean,
because we want to
those
get.
are factors, but those are not the only
They're
reason.
not the only reasons, yeah. And it's like sure we choose to put our feelings out there and talk about like going forward in the next couple of episodes, we're gonna get like into some personalish stuff maybe, or just like experiences about
Yeah.
how we've dealt with certain situation stuff. And it's like, that's for podcast only, not for like to bring it to the
Yeah,
streets kind of thing. So
exactly.
yeah, it's just like
Exactly.
everybody has different rules and boundaries for different things, and I think that's kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah, and I mean boundaries in any way, like I think boundaries are a very important um part of friendships and an important part of community management.
Yeah.
um and I think both of us in our streams as well as in our personal lives, I think we both try our best to voice and uh kind of stick to those boundaries that we've set for us. And when somebody gives us a boundary not to cross, we very much try to listen to it.
Yeah.
um and things happen. Communication can get jumbled sometimes, but I know that our viewers and our listeners want the best for us
Hmm.
and want to be supportive and amazing, like they've been. That, if you're not one of those viewers, then sorry, vibes, this ain't the place.
This isn't the place.
You know what I mean? Because boundaries are important, and
Yes.
they're very important in personal life as well as in community management, which, whether we want to look at it or not, that is a huge part of our of our content creation roles.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, we got to do what we can to protect our peace and protect ourselves
We're
and
just little
stuff.
guys doing our best, okay?
We're just little guys doing our best to be creative and produce content.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
We
So,
like to think we're
but we
okay at it or
appreciate.
something, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm very proud of us, and I'm very proud of the work that we've been doing. And I'm excited to see the direction that we take our podcasting, because there's so much that both of us really stand for and believe
Hmm.
in as well, in the advocacy space as well, that we can talk about. And there's so many different different routes that the podcast can go down, um, just by having the conversation. So
Yeah.
I'm excited, and we hope
And
you guys are excited too.
with all this being said, Estella is aware, but I might get a little messy in some future episodes of the podcast where I'll spill tea.
I'm ready. I'm so
It
ready
won't be
for the
specific tea,
tea.
but I will. Not
Well,
like
I think
touch
that
base on
that
some topics.
see, I'm ready for the messy like spilling of tea, and I'm ready to participate a little bit. But for me, like the primary thing, if you guys have listened to other people's podcasts, if you've watched anybody who creates content specifically about storytelling, names are changed, specific locations are changed.
Hmm.
We're doing that to protect ourselves and protect the other people when there's tea to involve the other people. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't go digging.
Mm-mm.
Don't go digging
Mm-mm.
for drama.
Don't do
But no,
that.
it might get a little messy.
This reminds me of the whole situation with like Bob the drag queen and Monet Exchange when they were talking about Eureka.
Tea. Yeah,
Yeah, and I can't
that's
remember what they called Eureka. But I don't know, it just reminds me of the situation because they gave Eureka a different name, and then Bob's like, "Oh,"
yeah.
and Monet's like, "I see what you did
Oh,
there." I'm like, "That's crazy."
oh. Tea. Yeah.
We say we're
The
gonna get messy, but watch. I
ballroom.
feel like the ballworms. I feel like we're gonna have an episode where like we want to talk about something specific, but then we're just gonna be babies and like just give each other glances and not actually say anything. We like to pretend that we're messy.
See, but that's the thing is I feel like sometimes the two of us can be messy when we're not on
Yeah,
like live. But I feel like being messy on mic feels dangerous, but in like a cute way.
but in a
So it'll be
cute
fine.
way. Very mindful, very demure way.
Very mindful. See how we don't name names? Very mindful. Very
Very,
respectful.
very
See how we
respect.
don't tag the people we're talking shit about? Very demure.
Some of you are out here with podcasts name dropping people and going to the podcasts and tagging people, and not very demure.
Not very demure and not very mindful, not very respectful. Messy. Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
No, I think we're headed in the right direction.
And
And we're very
hopefully
excited.
like you all listening will enjoy the direction that we're going with for the podcast. And you know, it's like we said earlier, I think we will, and I don't think I said it on the podcast. I can't remember. I think I said it like while we were talking before the podcast, but like I could just full on see Estella and I, you know, having our topic for the episode of the podcast and we'll like be on the topic, but then like, yeah, take an immediate left turn, talk about random
Our
stuff,
flat.
and then get back onto the topic. Kind of like today's episode.
Kind of like today's episode. I mean, that's the thing though, is our listeners and our viewers who support us, they know that's what we're like.
Hmm.
Like, I think we're very honest and upfront with how both of us think, operate, converse. And I mean, this is just who we are. Like we're not hiding anything or
No.
holding anything back. Like we're very just upfront about it. So
Yeah.
if you've been liking it how it's been in the past, that's how it's gonna be in the
That's how it's gonna
future.
be. Exactly. And I mean, like, yeah, you know, why hide and why pretend to be somebody else that you're not? Like, we both just truly enjoy being our authentic selves and being who we are
Yeah.
and sharing that with everybody else. And that's just what we're gonna keep doing. And if you don't like it, then bye.
Then, well, that's the thing is like, if you don't like our content, like, I hope you find some content that you do like. There's no
Hmm.
shame in somebody not liking. But
Very
for
true.
those of you who do like, who do stick around, who join our communities in other ways, who follow us, who participate, like it all it all means a lot to all of us, and all of us as streamers and content creators in general. But I know specifically to us, like it's so cool to see the crossover. But if somebody doesn't like, that's fine. Have fun finding somebody else. Like no shame. Live your life. No judgment.
Yeah.
Like have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, no, so sometimes like some people come into streams like I'm sure you've experienced this, I've experienced this, and some people will come into streams and they're not used to what the vibes are in our streams, right? Or with our
Yeah.
content. And they will say some of the most like unhinged or randomest shit about like
Crazy.
just some random topic. And then they'll be like, oh, well, why is this happening? Or why are you doing that? And I'm like, why are you like this? Why are you like that? And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, you're not used to this and you're new here. And like, if you're gonna be weird and ask all these questions instead of like just hanging out and getting a feel of
Just
what the
catching the
vibes
vibe.
are, yeah,
Yeah.
then bye bye.
Bye bye.
We don't want you
Yeah.
here.
No, it's definitely interesting when people come in and they think one thing or another, without really being there either. They're like, "Oh, this is weird." It's like, well, there's a reason. There's a
Yeah,
reason this is happening.
exactly. Yeah, there's
There's
a
there,
reason
there's
why it's happening.
lore.
There's lore.
And if you stick
I
around, you'll learn the
mean,
lore and you'll think it's funny.
hey, if people want lore, Razzie and Estella lore, they'll know where to go with this podcast.
Ex- Exactly. Oh
I
my
feel like
gosh.
starting from here on out, we're just gonna be like starting to lore drop so much.
So deeply. But you guys are not ready. Next week is going to be a juicy one.
Mhm.
And I think from the podcast topics that we've already kind of talked about and started to plan out, like there's a lot of lore dropping. There's a lot of background that is going to be shared.
Yes, yeah.
Um, that I really think everyone's going to be excited about. And it's going to cause a little bit of chaos, but in the best way. Um, so if you like lore, if you like learning about the plot, here we
Get ready
are.
for the next episodes
We're
because it's gonna
ready.
be super exciting.
Are you ready for it?
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, so we're on episode 8. Episode 9 is our
Yeah.
next episode. We have big things planned for episode 9. We have big things planned for episode 10.
Yes.
And we were also thinking we're gonna try to do this, but for every 10th episode, we're gonna try to
Yes.
do something different,
A little
something big,
fun.
a little fun, yeah. And so it's
A little
like,
zesty.
it's something zesty. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Um yeah, so every 10th episode is gonna be something a little different, a little exciting. But
Yes.
I'm very excited for our next 2 episodes, mainly our next episode because it will be our first like main topic. A little sneak peek of what our episode will be about, if you're cool with me sharing
Sneak
it.
peek? Sure, what?
Just like what we're gonna talk about.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. No specifics
Um,
yet. Gotta listen next week though.
yes, our the next topic or our planned topic for episode 9 is gonna be about relationships. And
Ooh.
so, we're gonna be talking about that. And that'll be our first topic to kind of start off the next couple of podcast episodes where we talk about a specific topic every
Yeah.
week.
And relationships in both friendship
Mm-hmm.
and romantic relationships. So
Yes,
we're
yeah.
talking human interaction
Yeah,
is where
just
we're going
human
with it.
interactions in general, like any sort of friendship or like romantic relationship. It's definitely going to be a big topic for us to talk about because I feel like we both have very big things
Yes.
to say. So
Yes.
yeah, episode 9 is
I'm
gonna
gonna have to
be
make notes.
quite an exciting one.
I'm gonna have to make notes to plan because there's a lot to
There's a
say
lot to say and
and
a lot
only
to
a
talk about
short
for sure.
period. Yeah. But it'll be a really exciting one. And next week, we'll be recording that. Very exciting,
Yes.
episode 9. So keep an eye out on socials and everything for information on that. And as I said, I'm gonna make a little Canva.
Hmm.
Make a Canva for the kind of outline over the next little bit, because it's a big month for us, and we want to make sure we're as clear and transparent, so nobody's like, where's the podcast
Yeah.
episode?
Why
Um,
don't you guys have an episode out? It's Wednesday.
exactly. It's Wednesday. Which has been so cute. Like when an episode goes up, they're like, "This is how I know it's Wednesday."
Yeah, oh my God. It's
So
the
cute.
best.
I love it. But yeah, we're gonna post on socials, of course, on Twitter, the uh, hashtag as well, Online
Hmm.
OffStream Pod, you know. And I'll keep everybody updated on that.
Yeah.
But
And do
yeah,
follow our Twitter.
I
You
think
never know. We might
yes,
post the kind of content that we're going to be recording over the next 2 weeks there as well. So if you don't
yeah,
follow us on our individual socials, you can definitely check us out on Twitter on our online off stream
and
podcast and see what we post there.
there might be an exclusive post every once in a while, only on that specific
Ooh,
Twitter. You never
you
know.
never
You never
know.
know. But where can they find you, Razzie? Where can they find you?
I can be found on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Razzie Aliza. And where can you be found?
I can be found on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and sometimes TikTok. um, at Estella M Stone on all of them.
Hell yeah. And you can find us both here, of course, on the podcast. And check out our Twitter page, Online OffStream Podcast, and our hashtag, which is.
Online off stream pod.
Thank you. Yeah, so again, no episode next week. There will be one on the following Wednesday, which will be our 9th episode, a very different episode. So that'll be on the 25th of September. Um, and yeah, I guess we'll see you all in the next episode. Until then,
Yeah.
enjoy our episode and a week break. We'll see you on the
Yeah.
next one.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
everybody.